There are several animal species that, on average, outlast their human counterparts by a significant margin. Even though the average human lifespan is approximately 100 years, this is a very short period of time when compared to the hundreds or even thousands of years that some creatures can live, and certain organisms can stop or even reverse the passage of time. The top 10 animals with the greatest lifespans are going to be the topic of conversation in this video. Therefore, before beginning this movie, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Let's not waste time. Here are the top 10 species of animals with the longest lifespans. Number 10. Galapagos giant tortoise. The Galapagos Islands were once home to more than 200,000 gigantic tortoises. However, 4 of the species have since become extinct, and only 10% of the original population is still alive today. Currently, there are no giant tortoises living on the islands. Tortoise populations have been preserved one at a time and will eventually be totally recovered after years of conservation efforts. There are 13 distinct species of the Galapagos tortoises, which are also known as gigantic tortoises in common parlance. These tortoises live only in the Galapagos Islands. The average lifespan of these reptiles is over a century, making them some of the land vertebrates with the longest lifespans. Despite how incredible it may sound, the average lifespan of these reptiles is over a century. This species has broken century barriers and has to be one of the top 10 animals on the list of the longest living creatures. They have been known to live for more than 100 years. The oldest tortoise ever observed lived to be 175 years old, making it the record holder for the species. They are also the largest tortoises in the world, with some specimens measuring more than 5 feet in length and weighing more than 250 kilograms. They are found only in Africa and Madagascar. Number 9. Tube worm. The tube worm has the ability to live for more than 300 years if it is kept in an environment in which there is a constant supply of food throughout the year and there is no risk of it being eaten. When the tube worm extends its petal-like plume, an organ for gas exchange similar to gills, out of the top of its tube, it takes on the appearance of a massive plastic straw with a delicate pink flower at the end. This is because the tube worm is an example of a tube worm. They are able to reach lengths of more than 1.5 meters and obtain their nutrition by forming symbiotic relationships with the bacteria that flourish in these leaks. This allows them to grow to such great lengths. Number 8. Freshwater mussel pearl. The tiny larva of the freshwater pearl mussel, which grows to be about 0.6 to 0.7 millimeters in length, is the first stage of the freshwater pearl mussel's life cycle. This larva, together with a mass of 1 to 4 million other larvae, is released into the water from an adult mussel. There have been reports of the freshwater pearl mussel living for up to 10 years. Freshwater mussels have a very long lifespan and are very responsive to shifts in the environment in which they dwell, both of which make them great candidates for use as bioindicators. Number 7. Rough-eyed rockfish. According to the information that has been compiled, it is common knowledge that other species, such as the rough-eyed rockfish, have been around for approximately 2 centuries. Rockfish have such a large range of possible lifespans, which made for excellent research conditions when looking into the genetics that underlie longevity. If you are having fun watching this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. Number 6. Red Sea urchin. There is at least one study that suggests urchins can live for more than 100 years, and there have been many urchins found on Vancouver Island that are over 200 years old. Urchins can live for a very long time. According to field investigations, annual growth rates in southeast Alaska have been determined to be anywhere from 0 to 20 millimeters per year. This range of values was determined. Do you find it hard to believe that these hardy creatures may live for up to 2 centuries even in the harshest of environments? Some of them are even above 400 years old, which positions them in our top 10 list of animals that live the longest and places them in the category of creatures with the longest lifespans. Number 5. Bowhead whale. Bowhead whales are one of the featured species on our list of the top 10 animals that live the longest. This is primarily attributable to the fact that their life expectancy is greater than 200 years. This is the only place in the world where you can find this particular species, and it lives almost exclusively on floating ice. As a direct result of this, the ability of the ice to melt and then refreeze again has an effect on the patterns of movement that it demonstrates. Because of their massive skulls and powerful bodies, bowhead whales are able to break through sea ice that is as thick as 7 inches. This ability allows them to hunt in ice-covered waters. Adult bowheads have a completely black coloration, with the exception of the front region of the lower jaw, which is white and protrudes forward in a conspicuous manner. This is the single characteristic that may be used to identify an adult bowhead. They are able to launch themselves totally out of the water and extend their bodies to lengths of up to 60 feet while they are in the process of doing so. It is possible for bowhead whales to filter their food by opening their mouths and using their baleen to strain plankton from the water's surface, the water column, or the seafloor. This allows the whales to consume only the healthiest plankton. Because of this, they are able to absorb just the most nutritious plankton. Number 4. Greenland shark. Greenland sharks are able to survive for millennia at a time in the icy waters of the Arctic. Greenland sharks are another potential candidate for inclusion on the list of the top 10 animals that are able to breed with the highest level of success. New research suggests that the Greenland shark, a 5-meter-long predator, could live for more than 400 years, making it the longest living vertebrate by at least a century. The Greenland shark is a member of the family Carcharhiniformes. Carcharhiniformes is the scientific name for the family that includes the Greenland shark. The Greenland shark is the common name given to a particular species of shark that is found in the Arctic Ocean. Number 3. Ocean quahog. Quahogs, which are invertebrates that can be found in the ocean, have one of the longest lifespans of all the invertebrates that can be found in aquatic environments. It is believed that they can live for more than 100 years at a time. Ocean quahogs have been spotted in the waters off the coast of the United States for at least the past 2 centuries, according to the available evidence. In addition to that, an active fishery for ocean quahogs can be found in these seas. They do not begin reproducing until they are approximately 6 years old because it takes them a longer amount of time to grow compared to other animals. This causes them to have a later age at which they can have offspring. Number 2. Sea sponge. Corals, sponges, and other organisms that live deep in the ocean are protected from the temperature swings and violent storms that are able to and frequently do kill animals that live in shallower waters. This is because the depth of the water shields them from the effects of these environmental factors. They have developed the ability to avoid getting wounded in accidents, which has led to them living longer lives as a consequence of this, which has led to them living longer lives. The lifespan of sponges has been estimated to be anywhere from a few hundred to several thousand years, though the majority of these calculations fall within that range. Number 1. Immortal jellyfish. Researchers have discovered a species of jellyfish that is capable of surviving for an unimaginably long period of time. It has been established that the Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish, sometimes known as the immortal jellyfish, is the one and only organism that can be considered truly immortal. The born-again polyp colony will eventually bloom and release medusae that are genetically similar to the damaged adult. This process, which is very similar to immortality, will take place at some point in the future. This will bring an end to the cycle that the colony goes through. Since the discovery of this phenomenon in the 1990s, the species has been given the name immortal jellyfish since that time. The name comes from the fact that the jellyfish seem to live forever. If you know any other animal apart from them who has such a long life, tell them in the comments. Also share your thoughts on this video. If you find this video informative, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel.